This podcast is brought to you by JList.com. It's summer, and it's time to get a taste of the season with JList.com's June Japanese snack box. Traditional treats, Japanese snacks, even convenience store exclusives. Who wouldn't want to eat exotic Japanese snacks while you are enjoying your anime? This time around, they have treats such as Pikachu gummies, Dragon Ball gummies, SSS Gridman wafers, and over a dozen more tasty snacks in this snack box. Get it now at jlist.com/box or jbox.com/box. And now, time to start the podcast.
You're listening to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Take your anime addiction to the next level at AAAPodcast.com/join. And now, here are your anime addicts.
I wonder, can the stream hear me by any chance?
I don't know. Can y'all hear
hear-
us?
Can you guys hear me and Mandy by any chance?
I'm gonna assume no, since it's coming through Mrs.
I don't know.
Audio
I don't know how
stuff?
any of this works. If you guys hear us, press F. Press F in the chat, please.
Wow, so many Fs. So many Fs for this.
In the chat, please. Oh, they can't hear us.
They can?
Yeah, they can. I just heard myself. F's in the fucking
Welcome
chat.
to Anonymous Podcast, where we just suck at everything.
We just suck. We just suck at everything, baby. Oh shit.
We were doing so well right before we started, and then it just tanked. So many Fs. Yeah, Fs everywhere.
We've been, I think, how long has Miss been troubleshooting? I think we've 2 hours. Like since like 2:30.
Yeah. Although now it says it's
Check.
Dead now? Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
it's
don't
rough
think
for
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear this? Can you hear the music?
No. Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
What the fuck?
I think the music is cursed.
I did one little thing and it started working again. I hate technology. Can the stream hear? I wonder if the stream can hear me now.
They could hear us before, but now it says it's buffering.
They could hear me and Mandy, not anything you were doing.
Well, do I still sound like I'm in a toilet?
Oh no, it says there he is. So the screen is buffering.
Yeah.
But there's sound.
It says stream status good. Okay.
I don't know.
Stream status is good. I love YouTube.
Yeah, no, we're streaming. Like, if you refresh the page.
I see, so we can hear everything now.
Stream status is good. See?
Okay.
Here it is.
Thank you
says
for
good.
Thank you.
Are we audible or not? Because we can just restart this.
We should restart.
All right, fam. From the top.
They can hear us though.
Right.
From the top.
Okay. All right. I'm restarting the recording.
Okay, me too. BRB.
And I'm not touching I'm not touching anything either. Like,
don't press anything.
Not a thing.
Let me close Audacity and bring it back up. All right. Yep. I'm good.
All right, for God's sake. Recording. This podcast is brought to you by JList.com. It's summer, and it's time to get a taste of the season with JList.com's June Japanese snack boxes, traditional treats, trendy snacks, even convenience store exclusives, and who wouldn't want to eat exotic Japanese snacks while you're enjoying your anime? This month they have Pikachu gummies, Dragon Ball gummies, SSSS. Wafers, and over a dozen other snacks inside the JList.com snack box. So get it now at JList.com/box or JBox.com/box. And now it's time to start the podcast.
You're listening to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Take your anime addiction to the next level at AAAPodcast.com/join. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Welcome, everyone, to another very exciting episode of the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast, episode 475, where we are here just to make your anime addiction worse. And we are just so many audio technicalities today.
Yeah, it's smooth, you know.
We totally got this. We got this. Yeah. So I am just a host in a lovely bunch of coconuts. My name is Mandy. You got this. And also with me are two other lovely hosts. One is the new warden of the West, Mitsugi. What's up?
I am a kitsune.
How was your moving?
I am now a kitsune.
A kitsune?
You see my fox mask?
Oh no, we probably have a delay.
My move went okay.
I have a delay.
Why do you have that mask on?
The move went okay. I drove 35 hours across the United States just so I could broadcast from a different state. I got tired of doing it in Florida.
That was it? That's the only reason?
And I'm going to go climbing one of the 14ers on Friday, so that should be fun.
Awesome.
And I'm happy to be here where it's not hot at all.
Wow.
In fact, it's 16
I'm so happy
today.
for you, man.
We also have another host, the dude, the one who is surrounded by shinobi cops everywhere.
Yeah.
Enzo. What's up?
What's up, fam? I'm so happy to be here after that week off. It was so awkward waking up on Thursday and not seeing the episode come out. I was like, whoa. So
yeah, I feel like it's been a while since I've been here.
I know, it's been like
2 weeks for me.
Like 2 years.
Yeah. 2 weeks, 2 years, about the same.
It's the same thing.
We do occasionally miss weeks. You know, we've missed we've only missed like 15 weeks in almost 10 years. It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Crazy. That's
also
track record.
You can also join us if you would like to go to the AAPodcast.com/join. You can join up and get so much more bonus content. You can get hentai episodes, hobby addicts, after parties.
Whoa.
Up to so much stuff. It's like up to 8 additional episodes per month for like less than $1.
Did you say hentai?
So much hentai.
Steamy.
I believe we also have a hentai episode coming up today.
We do.
Oh, we do. Oh, we
my
really
God.
do.
I watched some hentai this morning for you guys, and it was a thing.
It was an event.
It was an event.
So, yeah, we also have so many options for you to be able to speak to your other addicts. You can go to facebook.com/groups/AAAPodcast to talk to people there. And you can also join our Discord. If you go to our website at the top, there is a button there and you can get to our Discord where we have so many other stuff going on.
Push my button.
You can join. I'm sorry?
I said push my button.
Yeah. You can push Mitsuki's button on Discord.
Button.
Yeah, you can join other stuff with your other addicts. You can join the watch parties, and we also have my manga club, which right now we are currently reading Pluto. But if you are listening to this on Thursday, it'll unfortunately be too late because that is this Wednesday coming up, the 12th. If you're listening to it currently, you still have time, but you can join Pluto. Our next one coming up is a Vinland Saga. We're going back at it.
Oh shit, it's Vinland Saga.
And speaking of also Vinland Saga, this was not planned at all. I had Vinland Saga on my list forever, but this somehow happened. I actually had the opportunity to be on Manga Pod with Dodger, Happily Aaron, and Lou Talks Anime. And that was last week, and we talked Vinland Saga, and it was pretty deep into the Vinland Saga. It was chapters 87 through 115, but if you would like to listen to that, you can go to Twitch TV, and go to Dex Bonus. And if you look through her recent broadcasts, you can find Vinland Saga, where we all had so much fun talking about my favorite manga. So you can check that out as well.
It was a good conversation. I enjoyed it a bunch.
Thank you. If you're not caught up on Vinland Saga, don't get spoiled. But if you are caught up, it's great. You should go listen to it. And you should listen to their other manga. If you really like manga, you should listen to their other podcasts because it's a lot of fun. Yeah, they're a lot of fun people and really nice, and it was great. So yeah, today in our episode we have a lot of stuff coming up.
I'm so excited.
Yes. We have a great game coming up. How well do you know the host? We're going to take turns trying to guess the answers to other questions. To questions about us that were provided by listeners. We also have a review for Run with the Wind coming up. And also we have our listener choice poll up on our website.
Yep, it's up. You can go vote.
Go and vote for what other show you would like us to review. So yeah, is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we start?
I've recently realized that I don't like almonds that much. That's it.
Did you know that it takes
really? I fucking love almonds.
I don't know, man. I used to love them. I don't like them anymore.
Did you know that it takes a gallon of water to grow one almond?
That's crazy.
A single almond?
Yep.
Damn, I love water.
Damn.
It has something to do with the fact that there's no water in California. And so, pretty much all almonds are grown in California. You look it up, you'll see. The fun fact. Because almonds are actually more destructive to the environment than almost anything. So,
Did not mean
who would have suspected the unsuspecting almonds
oh my god.
All right.
Are destroying the planet.
That's
Damn
right.
almonds.
They are good though. All right.
Let's go ahead and start.
大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
So our big news of the week is we are making some changes to our selection process during reviews.
That's right. Yeah.
So this came up this current season where we ended up it was a pretty weak season, and we ended up passing shows that we weren't really passionate about. We were like, it's okay. I guess it'll pass. So that's changing. So now we are going to have 8 shows. Will pass, of course, each season like previously. But those 8 shows don't have to be this season. We are leaving it open to where if we find that shows are pretty weak and we're not really, don't really feel like they deserve a review, we're leaving open the opportunity for us to present retro reviews and possibly fill in those spots with those. So
I feel like I caused this because I passed.
Did you?
Caused this?
Yeah, I did. I think because I passed Mix and people were like Mix sucks. So I'm just gonna shame myself right here.
Shame. Nah.
No, not only that. I mean, like,
I don't think so. I think this has been coming.
I
Shame.
think this has been coming for a while too. Like
People are like,
So much
Mix.
shade.
Why are you passing Mix if it's mediocre? Like, well, I don't know. There wasn't anything better, but
Yeah.
we're gonna
But
fill
I
the gap.
think, yeah, people have been wanting just a spot for old reviews anyways, so this is a good opportunity for
I
that.
think so. Yeah.
So how this process for us is going to work is this probably won't happen if the season is packed and we're all fighting for shows that are that we're all very passionate about. Like, for example, if next season we're all like, man, we don't know what to fail because we love all of them. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if, for example, it did, and that
Like-
may not happen,
like
that we
last
get a retro
spring.
review. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah, we were
like last spring.
fighting
We were
hard
just
for
like,
that.
what the fuck?
Last
Yeah,
spring, last spring hadn't had enough anime for 2 seasons in it.
Exactly. But for example, if we're in this season where we're not passing something, me, Mitz, and Enzo will all present to retro review options, and then Icy, I'm assuming that we've spoken to Icy. I surprise, Icy, you're going to be doing a job. Is going to put up a poll where you get to vote for which retro review you would like us to do, and then we will fill in the spot.
Does anybody want to remove anything from the list except for Mix?
I think we're also removing Ali-chan.
We took
Ali-chan?
out
But that was-
Ao-chan and we put
Yeah.
Kono Oto Tomare.
Oh,
in there.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
see
we
it.
replaced that one.
Yes.
I think you really liked the teacher show, so I think we're good. That was the only other one I wasn't sure if you were sold on.
Well, the teacher show was just so funny. Like, I don't think I've genuinely felt that like humorous watching an anime in a long time. So I just
Yeah, so
striking
it's
me the
worth
right
it.
way. So but yeah, Mix was kind of me. It was very lukewarm, I would say.
Mhm.
So I'm fine taking Mix out, and we got these 6 options, which should provide people with plenty of choices to have us fill in that little spot with something delightful. I should
We
say.
also have some rules for what retro shows we are presenting.
Oh, I don't like rules.
you came
made
up with
them.
Nope, no, I didn't. I'm scared.
So the show has to be before the year 2000 in order for it to be considered retro by our standards.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it cannot be over 24 episodes. Maybe around 24 is fine, but preferably far less. Because, we're all...
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. They're very busy. I somehow binge 100 plus episodes a week, so don't count me.
Mandy's just inhuman.
They are both very busy and can't binge,
Very
50
true.
plus episodes. But yeah, do we want to go ahead and talk about which shows we chose for this one?
Yeah, why don't
Yeah,
you start,
totally.
Mandy?
Yeah.
Alrighty. I am presenting Master Keaton,
Oof.
which came out in 1998, and it is about a half British, half Japanese archaeologist guy who solves mysteries, investigates insurance fraud for this company around the
Dude,
world.
that's sick. I've never heard of this before.
The other one is Key the Metal Idol, which is kind of like a weird Pinocchio type story where this girl who is actually a robot, it was designed by her grandfather, I think. His dying message was that if she can gain like thousands of friends, and she'll be able to become a real person. So, and she decides maybe becoming an idol will help her gain those friends. So, yeah. I haven't watched that one yet. At least I don't think I have. I may have watched it and forgot. We'll find out.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how I feel about one of mine. So one of mine is Pat Labor, the 7-episode OVA from 1988. There's a part of me that's like, I have watched this already, but I don't. Even if I have, I don't remember jack shit from it. So one of my choices is Pat Labor, the 7-episode OVA from 1988. It's about a how can I describe Pat Labor? It's about like a unit of mechs that help like keep order in this world where now like other labors are being used for like jobs, right, Mitz?
It's a police unit that's
It's a police
It's
unit.
a police unit that uses mechs to fight crime that are committed a lot of times using mechs.
Right.
So
Yeah. And
it's
the mechs are called
it's mecha police. Damn
Yeah,
it.
it's Mech Police. And then my other one is The Irresponsible Captain Tyler, which is a like funny like space sci-fi adventure with this protagonist named Tyler, who is the captain of this ship, and he is, as the title suggests, very responsible, and that leads to a whole bunch of stuff. This one's, I think, 26 episodes, so it's a little bit over, but not super over.
Close enough.
Close enough. And it just sounds really fun. I've never watched any of it, so we'll see.
I thought about there is a retro show that I really want to watch. It's called Black Magic M66, written by Masamune Shiro, who most people should know because of Ghost in the Shell. But that's only 48 minutes long, so I was like, maybe that's not really the right choice. I just watched that on my own for fun. Shout out to Black Magic. But the two that I'm going to pick are Space Battleship Yamato from 1974.
Hell yeah, dude.
Otherwise known as Star Blazers. So we're gonna have a little, potentially have some Space Battleship Yamato action. 26 episode show, old as hell. That'll be the oldest show I've ever watched if we watch it. Currently, the oldest show I've watched is Future Boy Conan from like 1978. So that should be interesting. And the other one is a Gundam show that I was always told is one of the best Gundam shows out there. And because of that, I am picking it. And it's I have no knowledge of if you need to have seen other Gundam to watch this Gundam, but all I know is that this one is very very highly regarded, and that is Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 War in the Pocket, 6-episode OVA from 1989.
That
Nice.
sounds so cool.
Yep.
I think the oldest thing I have seen is Belladonna of Sadness, which is like 73, I think. I don't know.
Dang, that's old.
Yeah, that sounds like fun though.
So yeah, we'll have a poll online, and you guys can vote,
Yeah.
and we'll see.
Are
do
we
you guys-
ready for? Oh, sorry.
What do you guys think will win this poll? Actually, by the way, what do you think
Out of these,
out of these 6 shows?
I'm gonna assume Space Battle.
Yeah,
Yamato.
I'm also thinking Yamato's gonna win too.
Yeah. If we, for whatever shows that don't get passed, are we just gonna keep them in the poll for the next time?
If
I feel like that makes sense.
if
right?
your little heart still desires it
I
to
do.
have those
I
ones, then you can.
I still
then
want
you
to
should still
eventually
have
watch Master Keaton.
it. Wow, he is pretty cool. All right, so shall we move on?
Ready to move on?
Yeah,
Let's hear some Enzo Senpai's, letter stuff.
hit me.
皆さんおめでとうございます Join us in Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner.
It's Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner, where you about stuff you have accomplished in your past life, so that we
Past
can
life.
celebrate you.
Past
did I
life.
say past life? Whoa, whoa. Fuck it. In your past life and your current life too.
Yeah, screw it. Two,
Yeah,
screw
Yeah.
it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Two past
Yeah.
lives ago.
Touch.
We can talk about my
get in
Viking
touch-
days.
Get in touch with your ancestry and let us know what you accomplished back in fucking negative 1,000 years ago. Is that the future? I can't talk English today. Anyway, this one comes in from Nisekoi Maiko. And he said-
Negative 1,000 years ago. Is that the future?
That's the
Mm,
if I say negative 1,000 years ago, is that like 1,000 years?
that-
in
a
the
negative,
future?
a negative of a negative is a positive.
That's what I'm
So,
saying.
Dude, you just
So-
went, dude.
I just fucking whoa, dude.
How's
Whoa.
global warming treating us 1,000 years from now? Oh wait,
Who's to say, man?
that doesn't exist officially. So okay.
All right, let's see.
So what did Nisekoi say?
It says, I know I've written in before, but I can't not write this in. Although all the other Overwatch League teams I contacted said no or never replied, I've been giving a second chance on my opportunity to become the Shanghai Dragons team chef. For those that don't know, the Shanghai Dragons are an Overwatch League team. I think there's a bicycle gang outside my window right now.
A Bosozoku?
Yeah. They continue. They say, I will be going to the Shanghai Dragons' team house to cook for them. I have already submitted the ingredient and equipment list to the operations director. I will be cooking 5 dishes for 21 people, all by myself. I also was able to get a free ticket to the Saturday 16th matches as well. I very much am excited and nervous, but I know as a cook, I must do what I always do and cook delicious food. Because at the end of the day, it's only me and the food that matter in that moment. Thank you guys for being the best cooking partner, and I will of course be playing the broadcast, the podcast while cooking this meal. Oh, thanks, man. I'm glad. I hope that we don't ever cause you to burn their house
Yeah,
down or
please don't burn
anything.
your food.
Yeah, please don't. Please don't let us be the reason you burn down the Shanghai Dragons' house. They don't need that. They already
How very fitting,
are
though, for the
losing.
Dragons, though.
They already are not playing that well in the league. Dude, thanks for writing in. I'm so happy you got a second chance. I remember you reaching out to me on Twitter and showing me the first time you went, and you had pictures of the team and everything, and it looked really cool. So I'm happy you got a second try at it.
Yeah, it's
Good
super
luck,
awesome.
homie.
And send me
Good
some
luck.
food too, because I'm hungry.
Yeah, Mitch is like, he's like broke right
Have
now.
you even had a chance to eat today? Because you've been working forever.
I'm broke
trying
as
to get
shit.
this
I'm
ready.
broke as shit. I just spent like $14,000 getting over here and rebuying
Yeah,
all
dude.
kinds of shit. I'm broke.
Oh man.
Guys, subscribe to the podcast. Let's get Mitsuki a couch, huh?
Yeah, I
Let's do
just need pillow. I need pillows. Like I slept on my cat last night. And, I mean, he is big enough to be a pillow, for the most part. But
Neil is very fluffy.
yeah, I mean, he. One night might be. I can swing one night, but 2 nights he's just gonna tear my head off while I'm sleeping. So please, a
Yeah.
couch. Anybody.
The man needs a couch. All right, let's move
Alrighty.
on.
Let's hear some hot new anime releases.
It's gonna be hot.
It's time for hot new anime releases.
We got some really cool
Euphonium.
shows coming up.
Hibike Euphonium is back.
So yeah, like Mitsugi just shouted, Hibike Euphonium is getting a new anime project. Looks
Yes.
like Kyoto Animation Sound Euphonium getting a new anime. It'll be centered on Kumiko Ome. Is that how you say her name? Ome. I don't know. Her third year, final year at high school. The project will be based on Ayano Takeda's new 2-volume novel Hibike Euphonium. Kitauju. Oh man, this is a word.
Oh, that's
This is a long ass title.
There you go.
Kitaiji Saishogakubu Kaitsu no Saishu Gakusho. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, killed
That
it,
one.
dude.
Kit
Good luck. Googling that.
Kitauji Suisogakuku Keitsu no Saishu Gekusho. And now let me say and let me say it again with my Attack on Titan giant Titan mask on. Ready?
Oh, do it. Yeah.
It has
Ready.
it has no mouth hole, just so you know.
Okay.
Sounds just like a Titan.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like the Titans.
So
Yep.
accurate.
Yep.
We don't have an English translation for that, do we?
No, there's no subs that could do that.
There's no English that can do it justice.
Yes. For you guys missing the live broadcast, man, you guys are missing Mitsuki's putting on a show right now with his masks.
I got some
Yeah.
masks.
I don't know where you got all of those masks.
Yeah,
It's a masquerade, baby.
Oh my god.
So yeah, the second novel is coming out June 22nd. Sound Euphonium previously had 2 TV series and 4 movies.
They didn't say if it was,
Also,
they didn't say if it was a series or a movie or whatever. I don't know. It didn't say, but it just said there's another anime project coming. So get hyped for more
I'll watch it. Yeah.
get hyped for more girls in skirts sitting around gossiping and playing harps or whatever they play, the French horns,
Brass instruments.
whatever they
yeah.
are, French horns or whatever they play. So
yeah, it doesn't say if it's a movie or not.
no, it doesn't. They just wanted to like taunt you. Like they want to give you enough so that you kind of get excited, but they don't want to confirm your excitement. So, in the event that it is a movie, they don't want you to go, "Oh, it's a movie. No one gives a shit." They want you to believe in your little heart that it's a series, so that they can crush you later by saying Hibike Euphonium movie number 5 coming to theaters in Japan only.
I wouldn't be that mad though, because Listen to Blooper was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Anyway,
Apparently,
what's next?
Kumiko's name is pronounced "Oh my."
Like, oh
Didn't know
my.
that. That's what Captain Avatar says in the chat.
Thank you, Captain Avatar.
Thank you. So yeah, we also have Kubukicho's Sherlock coming out. It's a modern take on the classic by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. It's set in modern day Kubukicho in Shinjuku, Tokyo, Japan. Kubukicho Sherlock follows the comedic, mysterious, and dramatic adventures of a ragtag band of detectives as they live together in tenement above Miss Hudson's bar in the red light district and attempt to solve an unusual string of killings known as the Jack the Ripper murders.
That sounds cool. I was gonna say that like Kabukicho is like
cool.
is like a red light district with. I mean, back in the day, I think it was like very risque establishments. I don't think that's the case now, but I don't know. I was just kind of wondering what kind of a setting what kind of a setting are they exposing our children to?
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
It is by
I
Production
like
IG.
Yeah.
And
I like the sorry.
No, you go. I'm sorry.
I just like the terminology of like ragtag band of detectives. Like that to me is like such a cool like setting to write in, like a good like thing to work with. So like I feel like this could be really cool if they do it right.
Yeah. The promotional images look really cool. But yeah, it'll be broadcasting this fall, October 2019. So that'd be interesting.
Heck yeah.
Looking forward to that one because you know how much I love Sherlock stories.
I know. And I mean just love detective shit in general.
I do. Also, Dorohei Doro is getting an anime. It was based on a manga that ran from 2000 to 2018. And I did a manga minute on this one previously, and it is set in a city. The synopsis is it's set in a city so dismal it's known as the Hole. A clan of sorcerers have been plucking people off the streets to use as guinea pigs for atrocious experiments in the black arts. In a dark alley, Nikaido found Kaiman, a man with a man with a reptile head and a bad case of amnesia. To undo the spell, they're hunting and killing the sorcerers in the Hole, hoping that eventually they'll kill the right one. But when N, this head sorcerer, gets word of a lizard man slaughtering his people, he sends a crew of cleaners to the Hole, igniting a war between two worlds. And the production crew, cast, and release date have not been confirmed. But I am so super interested in this one because the manga is so unique and out there that I have to see how it's adapted. It's so gritty. Like I have to see how it looks. It's going to be a very interesting show. I think.
Just sounds cool as fuck. Like I'm looking forward to how that looks too.
Yeah, it's so original, and also the lizard man has a head in his mouth. There's a head in there. He doesn't. It's a mysterious man. He doesn't know where it came from, but whenever he puts somebody else's head inside of his lizard mouth, the guy inside of his mouth is like, "You're not the one," and then he bites off their head to kill him.
What the hell?
Fuck?
Yeah.
I'm so down. Let's go.
I'm so excited for this one.
I remember this one because I remember the lizard man. I remember his head. I remember thinking he looks human, but then he has like a weird gecko head. So
yeah.
All right, that's some crazy shit.
Look forward to that one. We don't know when it's coming out, but I'm looking forward to it.
See, man, you did a Mandy's manga minute on this.
I did.
And then a few months later, boom, they've decided they're gonna make it into an anime.
You
boom, of course.
also did a manga minute on Vinland Saga.
Obviously.
Boom.
And now that's gonna get anime.
Now that's an anime. So I don't know about correlation and causation being different, but
I'm sure we can find more.
We said.
Wait, Dr. Stone? Dr. Stone's getting one.
Yeah, and then we said
Promise Neverland.
It'd be and then you were like, "Oh, it'd be cool if we had an archery show," and then boom, that happened.
Hey, I'm not saying they all listen to our podcast, but
obviously the entire industry, including the industry in Japan, is listening to the AA podcast.
Yeah,
right.
They have very dedicated translators.
Dude, we get subbed for free. The fandom is so strong.
I mean, it only makes sense because this podcast actually comes out in Japanese, and then we actually are the ones dubbing it. So
we get dubbed.
Oh yeah.
We're actually you're actually listening to a dub of the podcast that's actually done in Japanese.
Right.
So
I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm sorry that I forgot because we're so used to it by now that I forget that's what we do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Let's go into a retro dive where Miss is going to tell us all about Slam Dunk and how awesome it is.
Because he's old.
It's time to dive into the past with the retro dive.
So it took me almost a year to watch Slam Dunk. It's 101 episodes and 4 movies. That's why. So Slam Dunk
I can get that in a week.
This was a treadmill anime for me while I was on Stairmaster. I was watching it. So
that's a good treadmill anime.
It really was. So this anime, Slam Dunk, came out between 1993 and 1996 from Toei Animation. It's based on one of the most famous manga that's ever been made. It's like they've sold it's the 9th best-selling manga of all time with over 126 million copies sold. It's just ahead of Bleach, Astro Boy, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So you're talking like big time famous here for Slam Dunk. Obviously, it's a basketball show. Probably one of the most iconic basketball shows that exist. They name dropped the main character of it in Run with the Wind at one point in the show, which we'll talk about later. It's a story of high school delinquent Sakuragi Hanamichi, who enters Shohoku High School, and his whole story is that he's a delinquent. He wears like the black coat. They always have like those the black coat that they always look all straight laced, and they have the pompadour. Well, he's got the pompadour and he's got the black coat, but he's 6'3" or 183 centimeters, and he's got like bright red hair, which is really unusual. And his whole story is that he's been rejected by 50 girls in middle school to go on dates. So he can't get a date, and so he's hoping he can turn his luck around in high school. And he's got like this group of like gang members that are super lovable, and they end up being like great heroes in the show. And they kind of root for him. And in high school, right off the bat, this girl named Haruko comes up to him, and she notices how freakishly tall he is, and she says, do you play basketball? Do you like basketball? Of course, he has no idea what basketball is, but he instantly falls in love with Haruko. And that becomes like a theme throughout the whole show because it's mostly, comedy. It's partially a comedy show. And so he joins the Shohoku basketball team, and he knows nothing about it. So like he gets on the court the first day, and he doesn't even know he has to dribble. So he's like holding the ball and just running around with it, trying to get to the basket so he can slam dunk it. And then he finally gets to the basket to slam dunk it, and he misses and ends up slam dunking the basketball onto somebody's head who's like trying to defend him. So there's a lot of comedy in Slam Dunk. The main 5 characters and then like the one guy that comes off the bench are all really likable. They all have like their own stories, and they all get like a lot of attention as characters. So there's Akagi, who is the center and the captain of the team, and he looks like a gorilla. So Hanamichi always calls him Gori as like his nickname. Then
That's cute.
Hanamichi's the power forward. Rukawa Kaede, who pretty much sets himself apart as being the best player on the team, maybe one of the best in Japan, is another one of the forwards. And then there's Mitsui, who is a point guard, and then Ryota, who is another guard. So the stories are really great with these characters. Like Mitsui, there's this whole arc about how he injured his leg playing basketball and ended up stepping away from the sport, but he's super like bitter about it. And so he just wants to like, since he can't have basketball, he just decides he ends up becoming like a delinquent. And so he ends up like, he really loves basketball, but he's immature, and he says, oh, I hate it. And he brings his thug members to the basketball team, and they end up having like a huge like thug fight on the basketball court. There's a lot of like delinquent fighting in Slam Dunk. But then eventually he like, there's this really like emotional scene where he kind of breaks down and decides that he wants to play basketball again. And so he joins the team and like cuts his hair and has this whole transformation. The animation isn't great in the show. I mean, it's done by Toei Animation, of course, and they don't seem to, whether it's now or then, the animation from them never really seems to be very good. And
Talk that truth.
It's true. And as is the case for shonen shows, they can make a basketball game take forever in Slam Dunk. They play 2 20-minute halves in high school basketball in this show. And there's a section of the anime where 2 20-second halves take 20 total episodes to get through.
Fuck.
Yeah. So like
my god, that's such a talent to do that. What the fuck?
There's
It's a long
game. Very long. There's a section where they can literally make a free throw take an episode. I swear to you, it's unbelievable. Yeah, you have to see it to believe it.
This is on my list. I read the manga, but I haven't watched the anime yet.
I've never gotten past like episode 15 on Slam Dunk or something like that.
So I was like that too. I watched up through episode 15 of Slam Dunk like 3 times, and then I said, you know what? No, I'm gonna keep watching this, and it really gets good. and it really the characters drive the show, and they're so good and so enjoyable
That's good.
that you individually just love all of them. And the only thing about the show that I think was a letdown was that they don't get to the whole point of the show is that they're trying to go to like the nationals, right? So I won't say if they go to nationals or not, but like the show doesn't have a conclusive ending. And there were 4 movies, and I thought the movies would be like the ending of the show, but they're not. They're mostly just like filler crap. So there's not much of an ending, and I feel like if you watch the anime, you're gonna have to read the manga to get the full story, I assume. So, but Slam Dunk's really good. I think it's a must watch for anybody who calls himself like a sports anime fan. Absolutely, because it is just hardcore sports anime, and much more like it's much more down to earth than like Kuroko no Basket. There's nobody's copying techniques.
Lies.
No
Kuroko
one's
no Basket is real basketball, Vince. Okay.
Yeah, it's real basketball. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like people get excited in Slam Dunk when Hanamichi gets a rebound. Like that's when he jumps higher than everybody else and grabs a rebound that's like a huge thing. So
I get excited when Akashi, uses his mind powers to make somebody fall over.
Yeah, or I get excited when Kuroko does a vanishing drive where he just disappears for like 2
Or
seconds.
what about a full team vanishing drive?
Oh, dude, oh my god, of course. How could I forget?
I fully believe that if one of the teams from Kuroko no Basket and the team from Slam Dunk actually played a basketball game, the team from Kuroko no Basket would win. However, the players from Slam Dunk would just beat the hell out of and probably kill the Kuroko no Basket guys because they're all like these are guys that are like clubbing each other with steel pipes like in the beginning of the show. They're all like savage badass like delinquents. So
I would say
Moody Sakabura is massive though.
I would say Kuroko would escape. They would not see him.
Akashi would just stab
day.
him with scissors. That dude is crazy.
That dude
What?
is kind of crazy.
scissors.
Yeah, he tried to stab what's his face in the eye with scissors.
Dude,
He's got
Kuroko
mad
no
at him.
Basket is so fucking wild.
Akashi's crazy.
I want a hockey anime, but I want someone in the anime to take their ice skate off and try to stab somebody with it.
Oof.
That'd be yeah.
Big boy moves.
All right, so that's Slam Dunk. You should go watch it. It is long, but it's worth it. So
Yeah.
Sounds
it's
good.
It's
It's beloved. People like that show a lot.
I mean, it's one of like the pillars of like classic sports anime. So
Yeah,
get in
I'd
there,
say so.
get in there and watch it. Okay,
Thank you.
Trivia.
Yeah, who wants to handle the trivia?
Okay, I got this.
It's gonna be
okay?
Enzo, my man.
I got this. Trivia. So,
Trivia,
every week,
yes.
yeah, trivia. That's what I'm doing. Good guys, my brain is like not functioning, but I'm here for y'all. I'm here. I'm doing it every
Let's
week.
hear the negative
on-
1,000 years
Yeah.
about
I can't
the
get over
trivia
it.
question.
Every week on the website AAAPodcast.com, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, we have trivia that you guys can answer. The answer for the one that was up this previous week is Violence Jack.
No.
Oh,
You
what?
said it. You said it wrong. You say it with your best Japanese accent. It's like it's
Violence Jaku.
Violence Jaku.
Violence Jaku. Okay, that
You
was
gotta- you
the
gotta-
answer for the one this week.
You got to commit to it.
And this week's winner of the people that got this right is Ash Basham _619. I wonder
Not-
if that's a Rey Mysterio reference.
Not too many correct answers this week. So
I see. Okay. The current theme for the questions that are on the website are our 80s OVAs. So if you have any talents in that particular genre of anime, you can probably get some cool little questions right. But for now, while we have you here listening, we're about to go on a break. And while we do that, we're going to drop a question for you to ponder. The question for this little break is, what anime from spring 2019 anime season has the highest rating on Mal? Think about it, ponder it, and we'll be right back.
Hey everybody, Mitsuki's here just in time. Time to bring you an anime news break. Leading us off with some Uniqlo news, which is a clothing store retailer in Japan. they held a contest called the UT Grand Prix Pokemon T-shirt design contest for 2019, and it looks like the grand prize winner of the contest was actually disqualified because the design had previously shown up on another piece of work. It looks like the grand prize winner, Li Wen Pei's design showed a Magikarp and a Gyarados in a mosaic-like style. However, this had been used also as a design on a cell phone case used by online retailer Taobao. So this person's design, despite being really cool and interesting looking, has actually been disqualified from the Unico contest. But if you want to check out some of those Pokemon designs, you can find them online. Next up, well, Matthew Mercer of Critical Role sat down with Stephen Colbert to do a charity video for Red Nose Day and raise $65,000 for the cause from Critical Role's fan base. And they sat down and played a game of Dungeons & Dragons together. Stephen Colbert is actually not a foreigner to Dungeons & Dragons, as he says that back in college, which is a while ago, but he used to play the original version of Dungeons & Dragons. And for this particular event, he was given a bard class with a little bee sort of familiar to play with him, and he chose a half-elf race. But if you look online, you can find videos of Stephen Colbert playing Dungeons & Dragons, which is definitely a well worth watch. Next up, a man is arrested in Japan for shoplifting 80 volumes of Detective Conan, which is kind of ridiculous, worth $334. According to police, customers noticed that the man was being suspicious inside the store and informed the clerk, which reviewed security cameras and saw that the man had placed many, many books into his bags before leaving the store, but he was indeed arrested. Maybe if you're going to shoplift Detective Conan, try just taking a couple copies, otherwise the detective himself might come and get you. Lastly, for this news break, a rapping zombie manga is getting a live-action TV special. The manga Rappa ni Kama Keitara Rappa ni Naru, or If You're Bitten by a Rapper, You Become a Rapper, which was published on the Line manga app, is being made into a live-action series. It's going to be on television on July 12th and July 19th, starring actress Fuuka Koshiba of the live-action Kiki's Delivery Service. It looks like the story is one of Japan becoming a sort of club-type hell, where when you are bitten by a person with this virus, you are turned into a rapper. Definitely sort of an interesting story and an interesting take on a genre. This is Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. Now, time to get back to the podcast.
My friends are annoyed because they think I have forgotten their actual names. I just call them my senpais and kohais now.
I threw a tennis ball at my cat. I was so caught up in the moment and thought maybe I could capture her, and then we could go on adventures together.
I purchased a motorcycle just so I could pretend I was Onizuka.
I answered the phone with Moshi Moshi.
My poor cat.
I may actually have a problem.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
Hello, I'm Mandy from the Anime Addicts Anonymous. Do any of these symptoms sound familiar to you? Do you have 8,572 waifus? Do you struggle with having the theme song to Attack on Titan stuck in your head, even though Jaeger is the only word you know? Then you may be experiencing anime addiction. If you are experiencing anime addiction, then you should visit our website, AAAPodcast.com. At Anime Addicts Anonymous, we have dedicated ourselves to making your anime addiction worse. Worse! Yes, worse. Because the real world just plain sucks. So many resources await you. For just $5 a month, you will have unlimited access to our Hobby Addicts episodes. You will also have access to our hentai episodes, where you can watch a hentai along with us and hear our commentary. Give our after party episodes a listen, where you can hear us struggle to talk about our boring lives outside of anime. That $5 will go to helping us spread anime addiction throughout the world. Yes, it is time for you to make your anime addiction worse. All right, welcome back to the rest of our Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. And before we went on break, we had a trivia question. And you want to go ahead and tell them what the answer was?
Yeah, I do. The question we asked was, what anime from spring 2019 anime season has the highest rating on Mal? And the answer is actually, I'm not that surprised because it's kind of fucking great right now, is Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2 at a 9.16, which is the second highest ever on the website, second only to FMA Brotherhood. Are you guys current with...
I am not. I haven't watched any of it.
It's awesome.
Is it?
I'm having a great damn time. Yeah.
I need to try it out.
Yeah, this question mark block, I keep smashing my head into it, but coins won't come out of this piece of shit.
You can't make money that way. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you really can't do that, man. You know?
It's a bunch of bullshit.
A bunch of bullshit.
Damn.
What do we got coming up next? Ooh, we got the thing.
Coming up next, we have my manga minute, where I'll show you something new you can read.
And now, let's take a minute for the Manga Minute with Mandy.
This is Mandy's Manga Minute, where I take a minute to tell you about a manga and help you find something new to read. And this one is called All-Rounder Meguru. And All-Rounder Meguru tells the story of two old friends, Meguru Takayanagi and Takashi Yamabuki, who after a long time meet each other again at an amateur Shoto mixed martial arts contest. While Meguru only practices MMA for fun, Takashi is pursuing a serious goal. Even though each of them has their own reason to fight, both are becoming stronger with each match. And All-Rounder Meguru is a sports drama manga written and illustrated by Hiroki Endo. It was originally published in 2008, and it is a finished series with 19 volumes in Japanese and 10 of the thicker volumes in English. In the first volume, we get to see a bit of Meguru and Takashi's past friendship. Meguru is very calm and isn't into MMA for any spectacular reason. He isn't he doesn't have any unrealistic goals. He's not trying to become the best in the world or anything. He just wants to become a better version of what he currently is. And we do learn quite a lot about Takashi's history and his motivations for competing in MMA. In MMA, sorry. And as of the first volume, I'm very interested in Takashi, but I'm hoping that Meguru earns a little bit more development along the way. The manga does focus pretty heavily on the sport and has a pretty realistic depiction of MMA. It explains different techniques, how they're performed, how to deal with certain moves, and the training that's involved. And it doesn't drag you down with a bunch of terminology, but it does provide you with little notes off to the side. The art is a little bit more realistic, and the action is very clean. The panels flow through the moves, and it's very easy to visualize what is happening. And as of Volume 1, I'm hoping the main character does grow and become more interesting, but right now he seems a bit bland and kind of just a vehicle for us to teach us MMA. But if you're interested in mixed martial arts, then I do highly recommend this to you. There's a lot in it for fans of the sport, I think.
Sounds like a Kazuo anime.
I believe
Manga.
Kazuo was reading this. I could be wrong, though. I know he said that he was reading an MMA one, and there are only two that I know of, and this may have been it, because I think it's the only one that has an English translation.
Okay. Well, thank you. As always.
No problem. So up next, we have our main topic, where we are going to play a game called How Well Do You Know the Host? And thank you to Icy Rose, who questioned social media polled social media for questions for us, and they are all anime, manga, or hentai related. And they are just about our different preferences. And how we did this is we all answered them in private, and then we will go through the questions and try to guess each other's answers and what they wrote down.
I'm kind of curious to see if anybody from the chat can get them right. Maybe we should keep a chat score.
Yeah. I was going to say, we are all going to keep our own scores for correct answers, but chat can also play along with us, and you can see how well you know the hosts and write down the point or the scores for how many points, however many points you got for each question, and then share later on.
Yeah, so I wrote down my score and I put down what I thought both of you would pick. And I emailed it to myself. So I've got it here in Gmail because I'm old.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh, I wrote them all down on my notepad on my phone, which I use a lot. I use my notepad a lot.
Notepad is really useful.
I use
Hell
my
yeah.
notepad a lot too.
Yeah.
I have a
That's
lot
good.
of shit in there.
I have random stuff in there. There's okay, this is a tangent, but there was a Twitter thread that my friend made one day of just, and she asked all her friends to just post the first 3 notes in your note tab, and people have some wild shit in there. It was good. That's it.
All right, so we have 9 questions here. There were a couple more that were submitted, but I removed them because they were so open ended that like there's no way anybody was going to answer them correctly. So a couple of them got removed. But yeah, I think we just go through and we'll 1 point per correct answer. So the first one was, what is your guilty pleasure anime? Suggested by Jessica Cunningham. So, I mean, I'm just gonna I'll just lead by example here.
Yeah, sure.
This was really difficult because I have really no clue what your guilty pleasure animes might be, and I think that the total score for this game is going to be fairly low based on the questions. But
Yeah.
But for Mandy, I figured I guessed Free. But I think maybe it'll be some kind of an Otome show. I really don't know exactly. And for Enzo, I guess Domestic Girlfriend, because
Okay.
that was recent. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, so for this one, for Mandy, I chose Utapri, the anime of the Idol Boys. Because even I enjoyed it, but like, so I figured Mandy
Even you
probably
enjoyed it?
too. Yeah. For you, Mitch, dude, I struggled a lot. And I'm just full of honesty, I don't really know, because you genuinely like stuff that I genuinely dislike. So I don't know what your guilty
What are you
pleasure
saying?
would be. That your taste in anime is trash, dude.
Oh, how dare you?
No,
Damn.
of course not. Yeah, no, I don't. I legit have no idea. Probably some etchy shit. You know what? I'm gonna guess Love Hina for you.
Love Hina. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe when I was 14. Punk. All right, Mandy.
For Mitz, I said MD Geist, and Enzo, I said Prison School.
MD Geist.
Nice.
MD Geist is now my profile image on Twitter.
I knew it.
All right, so now I'll play the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music, and we'll give our answers.
Okay.
Mine is Golden Boy.
Oh
Crap.
I've watched Golden. It is ecchi, so you got that part of it right. But I've watched Golden Boy over and over and over again, and it's just flat out hilarious every time, and it never gets old, and I just love it. So for a show that's 6 episodes only, for the fact that it never gets old, it's my guilty pleasure. I love it.
So I was correctly guessed by Mitz. I did put down Domestic
Oh
Girlfriend
my
because
god!
listen,
my god, I'm a genius.
like, I'm not someone that tends to lean into like ecchi a lot. Like, I would say a younger me would have picked Love Hina as well, but it's just been replaced by Domestic Girlfriend. That shit was so trash, and I just loved every moment of
God,
it.
I wrote down Domestic Girlfriend, then erased it. I was like, nah, that was too
Prison
easy.
School is a good
Dang.
choice, though. Prison School is a good choice.
I'm so mad at myself.
Oh,
Mine was 1000% guessed by Enzo. It's Utapri.
Hell yeah, let's
oh
go!
man, what the hell?
Yes. If I know Mandy, is that she likes her fucking Utapri shit. You guys should just party
that
outside
was
my
perfect. Good job.
All right. So the second question was, what are the best and worst anime you've seen to come out in the last 2 years? Suggested by Moraitis. So this is really hard. So for Mandy, I said the word. I 100% went and looked at the review sheet from our website and looked at all the scores. For Mandy, I picked Anglo-Moist.
Nice.
And for the worst. And for Mandy's best, I picked A Place Further Than the Universe. And for
No, we could have not reviewed it. Just
oh well, for sure, yeah. But I just don't know what you have and haven't seen outside of the podcast. Enzo, for the worst, I said Goblin Slayer, and for the best, I said Violet Evergarden.
Okay, I can go next. For Mandy's best, I picked Violet Evergarden, and for Mandy's worst, I picked Handshakers. For Mitch, I put your best was at Devilman, and for your worst was at what is it? I forgot to write. See, I fucked up and I forgot to write yours down. Mitch, I'm sorry. I don't have one for your worst.
No.
It's okay. And by the way, I think you can get 2 points for this round because there's 2 answers.
For Mitz, I said the best was Good as Any, and the worst was Blood Blockade Battlefront. Because I know how you feel about it. And so
God.
I said Violet Evergarden, and worst for Goblin Slayer.
Oh, we're the exact same. Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right. My worst is Senjushi. That show was a wretched piece of shit.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And I went and I went and checked Mao, and it had a 4.9, and I felt so vindicated. It was such a beautiful moment. And
I completely forgot about that.
And for my best, I did indeed pick Devilman Crybaby. So
Yeah.
Not Good as Any? Shit.
Yours is a good pick too. I forgot that existed.
So Enzo gets another point.
I know my boys. I know my girls. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So yeah, my best, I put Nakugo Shinju. And my worst,
Oh.
Dude,
I did
forgot.
DSE
DAC.
for the worst.
You put what for the worst?
DS Ire?
Oh
or Ire,
no!
Ire?
That should have been it.
Oh
That
my
was
God.
awful.
That was so trash.
I remember watching the first episode with Kazuo, and we were like, are we on drugs? What happened? It was nonsense.
I forgot that show existed. For me, I put my best was The Promised Neverland. Oh, that was really hard for me. I almost picked A Place Further in the Universe. And then for worst, I put Handshakers because it just gave me like I felt my brain dying. Yeah. I didn't watch that much trash though. That's why. So Handshakers.
All right. Question 3 was, what time period would you consider to be your golden age of anime?
Now this one was hard. Are we doing 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s? Is that how we're doing this?
It's difficult. I think that if you just get if you generally get the right time period, then we'll just give it to you. So
I actually if I can go first, I actually put the same thing for both of you. I put early 2000s was like the best time. It was the golden era of anime.
Okay, early 2000s.
Like just 2000s in general?
Like 2000 to 2007.
Gotcha.
Okay. For me, I put the same thing for both of you, and I said 95 to 05.
Interesting. Okay.
Wow, that's such a large section. For both of you, I just put down 90s. That was all I did.
Okay.
Okay.
So my answer is there are definitely shows from the 90s that are a big deal to me, but I thought about this and it's like I was thinking that it's not just about like the big names that came out in a time period, but also how much in that time period it was impacting my life. And like it was 2000 2007 was when all those animes were coming out that were just like making me like fall in love with the medium that is anime. So for me it's the early 2000s as well.
All right. Well, I definitely didn't get that one.
What I put down was actually 2000, 2005. So I think you both got it.
Hell yeah.
Are we? So I picked 95 to 05. So
I would give it to you too, Mitch, because it's not like I don't want to disclude that for me that late 90s stuff wasn't a thing. I would give you the point too.
all right.
For me, yeah.
And for me, it's 95 to 05. I think 95 to 05 encompasses a lot of that stuff that was on Toonami and Vision of Escaflowne. The late 90s just slayed. Like if you look at like 90s
was crazy.
Like 98, 99, and 2000 just absolutely were just filthy with insanely good anime. So
dude, and for me it was like a Beck, Nana, Bebop, Code Geass, like Eureka 7, like all that stuff was back then, dude. It's an insane time.
So how many points?
So if I said 90s, would you count that?
I would
count
say I would say not for me because most of mine was like definitely post 2000.
I'll give
Okay,
you
one for Bits.
I'll give you the yeah. So right now I've got the score as I have 2, Mandy has 1, and Enzo has 3. Is that what everybody has?
Did I?
I
did
put
not
down
get-
1. Yeah, I
Did
think
I
I
not
just
get both of you
Uh,
for this question?
no, you said. I mean, you said.
You got mine. Almost dead on. 2000, 2005.
Okay. Oh, true. Okay, yeah. So I'm at 3. Fine.
All right. So the next question was what the anime that was most influential to your fandom, and for me, I didn't have to think about this for very long. For Enzo, I picked Beck. I think it's a pretty good runaway favorite is the right answer. For Mandy, I put Natsume Yujincho. So just because I know you guys talk about those a lot, I don't know that that's the right answer necessarily, but that's where my heart took me.
Yeah. I put GTO for Mitz, and I also put Natsume Eugene Show for Mandy.
I also put GTO for Bits, and I put Beck as Enzo.
Okay, my answer was Beck. Fucking obviously.
Nice.
For any listeners that didn't get that right, have you been listening?
I'm so surprised. So and yeah, for me, I wrote GTO, and then I deleted it. See what I did there?
No way.
See what I did there?
Damn.
And I wrote
Cheater.
Dragon Ball Z.
Oh shit! Because I had Dragon Ball and erased it for GTO.
That's crazy.
Dragon Ball Z is the only anime that was that like it defined everything for me.
I guess you're right. I guess I should have thought about your fucking pirating circle.
That was Inuyasha. Thank you very much.
Oh, that was Inuyasha. Damn it. I don't know you at all, Mitz. Fuck.
My answer was Samurai Champloo.
Oh wow!
Because although Natsume is my favorite anime, Samurai Champloo is the one that inspired me to break out and look at different anime other than just shoujo.
Oh, that's good reasoning. Damn it.
All right, so this next one, I think nobody will get the answer because it's just too open ended. If you were to be isekai'd into an anime world, what would you want that anime to be? It's very, very tough because it could be literally anything. And I just think about this for a long time because there's just not a lot of worlds I want to go to in anime because they're just either people just getting killed or they just suck or they're the real world and I'm like, why would I go back? Why would I just go to a world that's the exact same?
Yeah.
But for Mandy, I just took a wild swing with my eyes closed and said Natsume Eugene Show. I had no idea. And for Enzo, I picked Steins Gate. Even though I have no real reason to think that that's the answer.
Yeah. For you, Mitz, I'm with you. Like it's hard to like pick this with someone because even like there are certain worlds that I think are aesthetically cool, but I would never live in. You know, like just because like people are in poverty and shit there.
Yeah, or people are getting massacred.
So, yeah, exactly. But I ended up just going with my gut because I had to. So for you, Mitz, I picked 12 Kingdoms. And for Mandy, I landed on Pokemon.
One of the most
oh shit, that's a good one.
One of the most miserable isekai worlds you could imaginable. 12 Kingdoms.
Yep.
Everybody's either being eaten by demons or starving to death, or it's just terrible.
Yeah, but you'd be the savior though. Like you're the main character.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
You just like you can blind them with your bald head. Like,
I'd be a Kaikyaku who brings destruction to the land.
Sure. That's a good way to live. You know.
Yeah.
Well, you're not alone because I also put down 12 Kingdoms for Mitz.
Oh, goodness. Well,
I don't know why.
We've sentenced Mitz
it's the first
thing that
came up in my head.
We sentenced him to demonic death immediately.
It just really. By the way, I'm really excited for more 12 Kingdoms books. By the way, because they really are.
Totally.
They really are really high quality writing. But it really would depend on in what capacity I'm reincarnated. Because like if I'm reincarnated as a random person, my life's going to be hell. I mean, I'm going to be. Yeah. I'm for sure going to be eaten by like demon dogs or something. But
I know how much you love Yoko, so I thought you wouldn't be in that world.
She is.
So you have a shot.
I just figured you would have like a cool protagonist storyline. So
she is a waifu, but maybe I could run across Yoko. Okay.
You could be an emperor.
Yeah.
Could be. So.
Or you could be a kidding.
I could be. That wouldn't be bad because then I'd have a Shirei and. They're like I'd have like a I don't know like a sexy little bird chick following me around all the time.
The answer that I gave for Enzo was Nana because I figure he just wants to be around Nana O all the time.
Oh, dude, what a great answer.
He wants to play duet. He wants to play duets with her.
I just want to duet with Nana. You know what I'm saying? Like, really duet.
In real life, there's definitely a few women that are just like Nana, and you just have to go to Japan and find them.
They exist here in America as well.
I'm sure, but they wouldn't be Japanese people. Probably.
He knows a few.
I know quite a few girls just like Nana.
What are you waiting for? Your little romance heart. It's beating so fast. The pitter patter in your chest.
All the time.
All right, so for my answer, I'm just gonna throw one out there that like nobody possibly could have got. I said reincarnated as a slime because it's so damn happy, and there's tons of boobs, and Goblina's there waiting for me.
Absolutely.
And Goblina is.
I'm still genuinely surprised that you chose Goblina as your wife here.
She's a little Shrekky, but I'm down.
Minta's tastes, they never stop amazing me, man.
Okay.
For me, I also like for myself, I didn't really know where to go. Also, like because my brain was like, oh, like I really like the technology and psychopaths, but like there's no fucking way I'm living in that government. No fucking nope. The big nope. But so I put myself in Pokemon.
Man, I feel so bad because now that I think about it, I'm like, I should have put down Pokemon. I'm so sorry, Enzo.
Damn it.
Mine was actually just like a very random thought that I actually had the other day.
Oh, what did you write?
It's JoJo.
JoJo. All right, nobody got any points.
No, it's because I started watching part 4 again.
No correct answers this time around.
Like here, I was watching part 4 again. I got to the very random part, like where all these random people are getting stand powers, and like there's like the cook, and then there was or the chef, and there was the woman who could like swap body parts. And I'm like, damn, I wanted stand power.
I'm like imagining Mandy right now in like the JoJo art style, like just hard posing.
Hell yeah,
like, hard fucking posing, like
so fashionable.
And your stand power would be to summon like 3 giant ferrets that just dance with you.
But see, all the stands are like named after some kind of music album or artist or something, or song.
Do you like lizards?
Yeah, I do like lizards.
Okay, a band I like is called King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
That would be my stand?
So that's your stand. You have King Gizzard, the Lizard Wizard, as your stand.
How do I call out that stand?
I don't know, dude. You gotta find a way.
What is my stand power called?
Gilliwiz.
Oh my goodness.
I was having a really dumb brainstorming like session by myself.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, stand would be called Thrift Shop. Because you know the great stand user Macklemore.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. All right.
And then going off that, I was like, my power would be called Discount. I'd like everyone would get, price tags put on them, and then that correspond to their worth in life. If it hits 0, you die.
All right.
Wow.
Next one is, what anime do you think is the most underappreciated? So, again, I didn't really know where to go here. For Mandy, I said Ancient Magus Bride. And for Enzo, I said Nana. Mostly because it's from like the 90s and nobody really cares or talks about it anymore. So,
yeah.
but based on the fact that, based on Enzo's, I guess that's not right. Next.
I don't know. I'm with you with Mandy. I also put down Ancient Magus Bride because
wow.
Because I know how much she was really enjoying it, but like even myself and I think a lot of the internet wasn't really like all aboard the train. For you, Mitz, I put Monster.
Ooh.
And I was about to read mine out loud, but I caught myself.
Monster. That's a good one.
So for Mitz, I put down my family, the Yamadas.
Oh,
and shit! That's
goodness.
A good one. That's
and for Enzo, I'm sorry, I really had, and so I just randomly put down Lupin. I'm so sorry.
No, listen, it's fine. I wish I lived in a world where I didn't think an anime I enjoyed was underappreciated. You know?
Mm.
All right. For me, the answer is good as any.
Ah, damn, that's
Ah.
so easy.
Good as any's,
Fuck!
but Monster, and although Monster is a really acclaimed manga, but
That's true.
for sure, My Neighbor the Yamada's like no one likes that. No one likes it except a few
Neighbor, I
people.
said family. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's got to be good as any. That show deserved a lot more love.
Damn it, dude, you're right. I cannot believe I didn't think about that.
There just aren't enough like savagely hardcore sports fans in the anime fandom, and that's fine. But whatever.
Wow. I'm upset that I didn't get that. As someone who literally enjoys sports with you, like we enjoy it both a lot. I cannot believe I didn't think of Guruzeni. For me, it's an anime I've been talking about a lot recently on the podcast too. I picked The Great Passage. No one talks about this.
Oh,
you're right.
shit,
You're
I
so
forgot
right.
No
about
one talks
that.
about this shit.
You're
Yeah,
so
I
right
think
about that.
It's a beautiful fucking story that is a wonderful slice of life. It just happened to be on fucking Amazon Strike when it came out, so no one fucking.
I completely forgot about that one.
Yeah, well, exactly. Point exactly.
It is a good show, though.
It's so good. It's so good.
I actually put down the Eccentric Family. Because, I mean, Ancient Magus Bride I liked, but I totally get why people don't like it. But the Eccentric Family is fantastic, and
Oh,
no one
shit.
talks about it.
You know
We all-
what? Damn it. I knew that about you too. Fuck. I
We all
forgot.
struck out again.
Guys, are we friends? Huh?
We suck at this.
Are we friends?
All right, so the next one is two more. The next one is going to be interesting. The best Ghibli studio film. And I think that this is probably the best question that was submitted because it's very and there's a limited number of choices, so it's
Right.
more likely that we can get it right. So for both Mandy and Enzo, I said Spirited Away.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
For you,
How you
Mitch,
like that, Jack?
I love that, Jack. I guess. For you, Mitch, I picked Nashka. For Mandy, I picked Howls.
For Mitz, I also put down Nausicaa. And Enzo, I put down Totoro.
Oh, Totoro. So cute.
Totoro.
All right, so for me, I wrote down Nausicaä, The Valley of the Wind.
Yes.
Then I
Yay,
erased
I got a
it.
point.
Then I
No!
erased it.
It.
I really, I'm not even playing games. I really did. Then I
Oh,
erased
my
it,
heart.
and I put Grave of the Fireflies.
God, fuck. I don't know
Alright.
anything. I don't know anything anymore.
I don't know anything.
I don't know anything.
I am
anymore.
Jon Snow.
I know nothing. Like my
I know
cousin.
nothing.
Okay. For me, I didn't go with what my heart said.
Oh.
My favorite Ghibli movie is Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind. But I think the best Ghibli movie is Spirited Away.
Oh my God!
Fuck.
I am the smartest man alive.
My answer is Princess Mononoke.
Damn it!
Oh, it's so good.
You fucking know that I wrote that down and crossed it out and then fucking put House. I was like, House is a cute boy. Fuck!
I mean, that's your fault for thinking I'm only interested in cute boys.
I mean,
All right, so we have one question left, and I have the score as I have 4, Enzo's got 3, and Mandy has 1. Is that correct?
I have myself as 2. I may have missed one.
All right, that's fine. We'll give you 2. How many?
I think I'm at. Didn't I get you just now? Spirited Away, so I have 4.
No, I had Grave of the Fireflies.
Oh, yeah, because you tricked me. That's all.
If Spirited Away probably wouldn't even have been my 4th or 5th pick.
Damn it.
And although it's like the Ghibli movies are just like one masterpiece after another, so it's I don't know, it's hard
Yeah.
to choose.
100%.
All right, so now the last question is: if I were to liken myself to an anime character, that character would be. This was almost impossible. There's like not a single anime character in the world that I feel like resemble me. But for Mandy, and this is really funny.
Oh no.
Yeah, for Mandy, I just couldn't. I'm sorry, Mandy. I just couldn't quit thinking about you during this, and I put Prince from Run with the Wind.
I mean, that's a good choice.
Prince?
Yeah, because he's loves manga so much.
Oh my god. For I had
And I
some.
can't run for shit, so yeah, it's a very good choice.
And for Enzo, I put Yukio from Beck.
Okay. For Mitz, I put Onizuka down just because I mean, just I also struggle with this, but I just feel like you look up to him enough to maybe you like mold yourself towards him a little bit. So I put Onizuka. And for Mandy, I had some prior insider knowledge because of his tweet we both participated in, and I put Chitanda down.
Oh, Chitanda?
Yeah, from Hyoka.
Well, that's not right.
I know. Well, definitely not right.
It was very close, though. Mitz, I also put down Onizuka, and so I put down Koiwai from MMO Junkie.
Okay.
All right.
You were very close, though. It was in that tweet.
Damn it.
All right. So for me, I thought about Onizuka a lot.
Of course you did.
You put it down and then you erased it.
I didn't.
Course, right?
I
You
didn't.
wrote it down,
I didn't
and
write.
you erased it.
Factually, I did not write this one. I just thought of it, and then I thought about Kintaro Oe from Golden Boy, who's an awful lot like Onizuka also. Then I said, wait, I'm bald and I love working out. I'm obviously Saitama. And also did a pretty damn good Saitama cosplay.
You did. It looks really good.
One arm push-ups and all on the stage. So that's it. That's what I put.
Mine was
okay,
Moriko Morioka.
Dude.
You're so close, though.
Yep. You see? Okay,
Chitanda was good, though.
You see, like, I thought about her, but I was like, that's just like too on the nose. I feel like Mandy's more layered, So, so I went with Chitanda. I was like a different layer of you. Nope, I should just went with her because she is you. For me, I wrote down, and I'll give Mitz the point for this, but I wrote down 2 answers because I think I've changed a bit since Koyuki, but the original answer is Koyuki from Beck, which is Yukio Tanaka. Mitz, you wrote down. But current me, I really see myself in Masahi Nishioka from The Great Passage, which is the sales guy that works on the dictionary team.
Voiced by Kamiya?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, he's fantastic. I love him.
All right, so I only have one question.
What's up?
Does anybody have more than 5 points?
Nope.
Nope.
We don't know each other at all.
I win!
Vince never wins. How did you allow this?
I'm wearing my kitsune mask.
You see what happens when he wins? He does bird noises.
What does the kitsune say?
Oh my God. Was that? Did you just make a weeb joke?
I did.
So what does the kitsune say?
I can't. All right, okay. Well, that was fun. Thank you to
Yeah, it was fun.
Let's see who is the person who's Moraitis suggested this off of a Discord. So, congratulations and thank you for I don't know why I say congratulations. Thank you for submitting the question, the subject. It was very enjoyable. So, and now let's get to the news break so we can.
I promise
review.
that we're friends. I promise we're friends.
Of course we are. Well, I mean, like,
these questions are hard.
They were
really hard questions because there's so many options.
Yeah, totally.
They were hard, and honestly, like most of our answers would have been like within the second or third pick of.
Yeah, I think so.
I think the best one that we had was actually what was your favorite like golden age of anime?
Yeah,
because there was only so many options.
All right, so.
But thank you to everyone who gave us questions.
Intro trivia.
Alrighty, so our intro trivia that we will answer after the break is what anime from the spring 2019 season has the most viewers according to Mao? Not the score, viewers. And we'll answer it after the break.
Hey everybody, Mitsuki's back. Did you miss me? time for another round of your anime news. Recently, voice actress Nao Toyama, who played various roles in My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu, Kin Moza, Kiniro, Mosaic, and others, was recently given the Golden Achievement Award for her charity efforts in raising money for the Great Japan East Earthquake Funds. Of course, this award was given by the Japanese Red Cross Society. So it's nice to see that members of the anime community, such as Nao Toyama, are pitching in and using their celebrity to help raise money for important causes like the earthquake relief, which Japan needs so much of to help that region of the country recover from the great earthquake back in 2011. Next up, some news from Otakon. Otakon is going to be hosting various important staff from Trigger, Studio Trigger, including Hiromi Wakabayashi, Shigeto Koyama, and Hiroyuki Imaishi, who have worked on lots of different titles, including Gurren Lagann, Panty and Stockings with Garter Belt. They've worked on properties such as Die Buster, Eureka 7, Guardian of the Sacred Spirit, Star Driver, Neon Genesis Evangelion, Dead Leaves, and so many more. So if you're a big fan of Studio Trigger, or also some of the stuff that's come from Gainax, as members such as Wakabayashi also previously worked at Gainax, Otakon, which takes place July 26th to the 28th, is a good opportunity for you to hear them speak live and maybe get some autographs. Next up, a pretty cool anime is going to be coming to Toonami starting on July 6th. Toonami is going to be having Gundam The Origin, which is a 6-volume anime that originally came out in Japanese theaters way back in 2015 and came out in various periods throughout the following couple years. The story follows the early years of Char Anzabel and Amuro Ray, Char Anzabel being known as the Red Comet in this property, and he also serves as the antagonist. This anime is adapting Yoshikazu Yasuhiko's manga, which has the same name, which was inspired by the original Mobile Suit Gundam anime story. Toonami's been on a roll lately. They've also started airing the Attack on Titan's 3rd season back on May 25th, and then coming up on June 15th, they're also going to be having the premiere of Lupin the Third Part 5. So probably worth giving a little glance over at Toonami to see what kinds of good stuff they have airing lately. Lastly, Koji Cast is suing Funimation over an alleged patent infringement. They claim that the streaming technology that Funimation is using is actually patented by Koji Cast. They're referencing their, quote, media asset streaming over network to devices patent, which describes a method that lets users watch a stream on a mobile device and then continue to watch the same stream using another device, including something like a television. So lawsuits happen all the time for various reasons, and this is why patents exist, but Koji Cast is seeking some damages due to patent infringement by the Funimation company. This is Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break. Now, time to get back to the podcast.
Hey, Mitz, what's the website?
Oh, Enzo, you'll never believe this.
What? Oh, no.
JList.com is going to release a Church of Mitsugi PC game. Hello. It's called Moe Stomp Stomp Deluxe Edition.
Deluxe?
It's a turn-based RPG where you go on a quest to rid the world of Moe girls. I commissioned it from JList.
I didn't know JList.com sold anime PC games.
Oh yeah, Enzo. JList.com and Just USA are the same company. They sell hundreds of English language visual novels such as Fate Stay Night and Steins Gate, and they have adult games as well.
And Moe Stomping games.
Moe Stomping is not a game. It's life, Enzo. Life.
Right. Oh, I see. They have the new Mad Pompadour 12 Good Hair Days. Let's get that for Kazuo.
JList.com, your home for all your Moe Stomping and Pompadour game needs. Oh, and most other anime games as well.
Alrighty, welcome back. And we had a trivia question before the break. What was the answer to that?
One Punch Man, Season 2.
Has the most viewers on Mal right now.
No, it's not that
Which
shocking.
I'm not caught up with it, though. I watched the first 3, when Mason did his impression, but that's all I've watched so far.
Yeah, I don't know. People were so down on it that I just didn't even like watch it.
I am very surprised it still has that many viewers and that a lot of people haven't dropped off after the criticism I've heard from it.
I just think people just don't. They're never gonna remove things from Mal because they're lazy. So they'll add it because they want to say, "Oh, I watched 499 instead of 498 anime," but they're never gonna go in there and remove it. Anyway, we also have a 5-star review, so let's get to it.
It's time for iTunes review.
So, Enzo,
Yeah.
I choose you, Pikachu.
You choose me, Pikachu?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So, as always, you can leave us a 5-star review or a number of stars if you wish is, satisfies your happiness with the podcast. Hopefully it's 5 through iTunes. We really appreciate it when you guys do that. But this one comes in from, where is this thing? Okay, sorry. This one comes in from Josh DePaul 94, and the subject says, "Very cool, Kanye." And the this is such a meme. The comment says, "Cool, very cool, Kanye. 10 out of 10 would listen." So for you guys that don't know the very cool Kanye meme, it's Kanye drew like a picture of like him and our current president like chilling like stick figures, and the president retweeted and said, "That's awesome, Kanye, very cool," or something like that. And now people just use "very cool, Kanye" as like a fucking thing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but thank you, Josh DePaul 94. Appreciate it, the 5 stars, man.
All
Yeah,
right.
thank you.
All right, so Run with the Wind.
Yeah, so
Who-
Run with the Wind was
Who
mine.
passed this piece of crap? Oh, it was you?
Oh, no!
This piece
My
of
heart.
crap.
So, Run with the Wind was one of my shows from fall 2018, last year. It's by Production IG, and it was directed by Kazuya Nomura, who, when I was looking up, hasn't really done much else. I mean, he's done a lot with key animation, but he hasn't really directed anything big. And it was originally a novel by the same author of The Great Passage, Shion Miura. And it's I guess a sports shonen show, and
For sure.
it's about this boy named Kakeru who is running away from shop owners after stealing food, and this guy named Haiji chases after him on a bicycle and starts asking him if he loves to run. And then he invites him to live in his house. They all go to the same college, and they invites him to live in his house. And that's where we learn that Haiji has this very ambitious dream to run in a long-distance relay race called the Hakone Ekiden. And he starts trying to recruit members into a team. But everyone that he's invited to live in this house are not aware of his true goals. And all of them either have like a history with either running or some kind of very strong passion that grabbed Haiji's interest. But none of them have any desire to run long distance at all. And so Haiji spends a few episodes in a very funny way manipulating them into joining his team. And it's just a story about team growing as both runners, friends, and also into just better forms of themselves. And we can go ahead and start with our expectations. What were your expectations going in?
I actually have pretty above standard expectations for this because the PV looked really solid. Like I remember watching the trailer and thinking, cool, like I'm coming off my I'm still I loved Haikyuu so much that I have so much hope for sports animes, right? So when I watched this one, I was like, oh, not only does it look good, but I'm in a mindset where I'm looking forward to sport anime now. So I was pretty happy, and the staff behind it looked good too. And I don't know, everything about the trailer was good. So I was looking forward to this one, and I thought it was gonna be a winner as well.
Also going into it, I really liked the character art because it looked a lot like Free.
Yeah,
and main character Kakeru looks exactly like the main character. So I went into it with I didn't really have any crazy expectations for the show. I went into it expecting it to be pretty decent, and because the PV looked great, and I was really excited to watch it because I just like shonen sports shows, I think. And yeah, I didn't really have any crazy expectations going in. Although I did read that the author was the author of The Great Passage, so I was expecting a pretty solid story going in.
Oh, I actually didn't know that. That would have made my expectations go way up.
Do we have a Mitz? Oh, okay, the Titan. Mr. Titan, what were your expectations?
Oh, sorry.
Oh my
I was
God.
a Titan. I just changed back. I just changed
I'm
back
glad-
into my
glad
human
you're back.
form.
Glad you're back.
Sorry.
Welcome back.
So I expected it to be a lot like Free, but with running. So I was expecting like abs with sweat dripping off of their abs and shit. You know, just so so sensual. You just want to like lick the sweat off their abs. Type of thing. And a high school drama. I expected that as well. So that's what I expected, and I think it was because I listened to another podcast and they were talking about this, and they were either saying they wished it was like that or they were saying it was like that. But I think I got led in the wrong path by that other podcast talking about this anime. So
Cool. Let's jump into spoiler-free recommendations before we go into the spoiler section. So,
Yeah,
do you guys recommend this?
I can start. So my thoughts on this anime are actually turned out, and I'm very happy to say, super positive. Like, I really enjoyed the way that they portray the art of running. I would say the way they wrote these characters so wonderfully. Like, I literally loved all of them. Like, I loved all of the characters. I even liked people from other teams, even if the people from the other teams were shitty. Like, it was still cool to see that dynamic and the way they impacted the main cast. The pacing of the show is actually really great. I watched this week to week as it was coming out because I was really enjoying it. Had I had the ability to binge, I would have, because every episode I just wanted to be with the characters all the time, because they were having such a great time. And they they all live in the house, like Mandy mentioned. It just made me feel like I was living with my like 7 friends again back in college. So I was like, I know what that feels like. Like, it's a great feeling, and the show is able to like make that feeling very like tangible, and like able to like feel it as you're watching. So I super recommend this anime to anyone that is into the sports genre. I think it's a must watch from the last few seasons. I think you'd love it if you like character driven stories. I think you love it if you have an interest in running, because I think it does it very. It's I would say it's more realistic than not. I think it's actually quite realistic. I would say there is some suspense of disbelief in the progress this team makes, but it's very enjoyable. It's a great ride, great characters. Even the music's pretty good. So, and the art's fantastic. So I super recommend the show.
For me, I would say I also recommend it. I think it's really good. It's good as a sports show, but it's kind of it's not so of a hot-blooded type of sports show that you might want from an anime like Slam Dunk or Major or something along those lines. It's a lot more. I think the show is actually more about friendship than it is about the sport of running, because even when they're running, all they think about is each other. So I still recommend it as a sports show for people. I think it's definitely heavier on the non-sports related drama than you might be wanting as a sports fan. But everything in the show, from like the animation to the pacing for the most part, the running, the animation, everything in it is just like is pretty solid. So it is. There are some things in the show that are like hyper unrealistic, namely. And I was just looking it up in my phone. The very first time that they time any of these people for a 5K run, Nico-chan, who's like a chain smoker, gets a 19 minutes and 50 seconds. No chance in hell, not even like a minute chance in hell, that this guy runs a 5K in 1950. So like that is you got to wrap your head around it. That is 3 6-minute and 40-second miles back to back to back. So you're running like almost at full tilt for 3 straight miles. There's no chance. And then like Joji and Jota run it in 1650, and I'm like, there is no. It's like he found this collection of people in like this random like a house, and they're all like basically collegiate level sprinters like immediately. I was like, what? There's no like ridiculous. The only guy that was realistic at that point was Prince, who ran it in 34 minutes. And I'm like, well, I mean, 34 minutes. That's more or less like walking it. But like, yeah, the rest of these guys is just crazy. Like, there's no chance in hell. But other than that, like, other than the completely, as Enzo said, the completely unrealisticness of like the progression of their skills or whatever, it's really good. Definitely recommend it. It's probably one of the best anime I've seen in a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also watched this show week to week, and I loved it. I'll be honest, I don't know anything about competitive running. I'm like Prince. I can't run for shit. I will die. But I also heard that the time numbers aren't exactly accurate at all.
Hell no.
Other than the numbers themselves, I did find the rest of it very grounded, and it never really strayed into like a fantasy sport series like say Kuroko. But it does have a great cast of characters who are all very like, they all have their own issues, but they overcome them in a way like due to running this relay race. And especially with some of the characters that have the most focus on them, it's very inspirational, motivational, and it gives you this strong, like, I can do this too feeling. There is a lot of drama, but all of it felt pretty realistic and believable. The show also has like decent animation. I really like the character designs, and it does have a lot of good comedy moments to help break up that drama. And yeah, I think like what Mitz was saying, if you're really into competitive running, you might have issues with the series, but if you really just want to see a diverse cast of characters working towards a goal, overcoming their own flaws, and developing like a really strong friendship, then I highly recommend it. As a character anime, it's really, really well done.
Yeah.
All I could think of was like how bad running is for you and how people shouldn't do it because it just trashes your hips and your knees and your ankles, and and your spine as well. And actually there are some injuries in the show that become important, and I was just thinking like, oh well, that's somewhat realistic for running, because I mean if you run for 20 years, you're gonna have to have hit like knee and hip replacements, but that's a cynicism.
Yeah.
Shall we move into the spoiler section?
Yep. We're going to give you 10 seconds. Get out of here before we just spoil everything about this show. So if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. Come back and listen to this on iTunes or wherever else later. And if you have watched it, stick around.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
I'll put up the spoiler thingy. There it goes.
And we're good to go.
Yep.
So yeah, what do you guys think about the story so far?
Dude, the story I think was so wonderful. I mean, I'm a sucker for motivation type stories. I feel like I've said that before, but I'm a sucker for it. Like that's why sports shows really hit me, because it's a team of people working together to achieve a goal. And I was getting amazing feelings of happiness watching this show the same way Haikyuu was getting it for me. Like every time Karasuno and Haikyuu won, I was like freaking out for them because I was like so happy they achieved something. So the pacing of this story was written super well because it allowed me to feel hype and that anxious like anticipation of like, oh my god, are they gonna succeed, yes or no? And I mean that happened like 3 times in the show. So amazing, like that they fit like so many ups and downs into this one condensed amount of episodes. And I loved it. Like it was crazy. Like it's just like I was just so happy for them, like I walked out of that anime being like, damn, that was a great bunch of people that were together for that 1 year. Like, holy shit, I'm so happy for them. So story wise, yes, of course, I have to mention the disbelief in. I suspended my disbelief too because I am aware of those times, and I knew off the bat. I was like, no fucking way, like that's real. And then as they progressed, I was like, no fucking way they got that good to run a 5K that fast to be like a top 10 school. Like, okay, dude, but at the same time, I'm willing to sacrifice that to feel those feelings of progress and like motivation and friendship, right? So giving suspending that, it's awesome. Like it's not a story that takes you to a different new place. It's just a really well told story, so
Yeah,
story wise I
going
think it's
off of
solid.
going off what you said about pacing as well. When I first started this, and they were like some of them did have some history of running. Like I know Nico run track, and Kakaru was really into running, and Haiji, and I can't remember if Yuki did or not.
Prince, he loved it.
Oh yeah, Prince loved running.
Prince definitely was an athlete in the past.
Yeah, definitely. In his negative 1,000 years ago life.
Yeah. I don't remember if Yuki had previous I think he got recruited for his brain.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when I first started it, and they were all very, not, they were not at the level where they could run this relay race. I was like, how are they ever going to get to that point in 24 episodes? That's a lot to cover.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that the first half of it is of them just like during the qualifying races, them working together to overcome their flaws, because they had a lot of issues with each other during that time, as well as with themselves. And I like how they use that time to learn to understand each other, like with getting Nico to stop smoking, and Kakaru learning how to have some faith in his teammates.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that arc. That whole like stop smoking thing was probably my favorite thing in the whole show, because it's just so subtle, and it's so subtle. Like it never takes like super full front of the anime for like episodes in a row. But again, like congrats to these writers that they found little moments sprinkled throughout little episodes to tell a whole story. Like
I really like how he was dealing with his addiction.
Yeah, man.
Making those little sculptures.
Yeah. Yes, I know.
He's like, I can't smoke, so I just make sculptures.
That's what I'm saying. That's a full character, like that's a full character, like he has issues, and he doesn't just exist with never thinking about them. He's obviously thought about them, and he has a temporary solution because he's a human being, right? So he feels like he's super alive in this world because he has all those like things. All these characters did. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but that smoking arc was like was one of my favorite things about the show.
But yeah, after all those characters do overcome their weaknesses and like establish their goals for why they're running this race, and reestablish like their own desires to run this race, because before they didn't want to do it at all. Now they're all like really into it towards the end, and now they're all really strong friends. I like that it suddenly becomes like a very tactical sports, like they're trying to figure out where each of their strengths are to place them in like the race. I like that part as well. And yeah, for pacing wise, I thought they did really good job going from that to the end.
Yeah,
I have other thoughts about the pacing. Like, I don't think the pacing was necessarily like terrible or anything, but for me, I wasn't really fully bought into the show until the race at the end started, and I think it was because I was like, I don't watch this. Like, I know this is like, oh, characters, you gotta have like all these dynamic characters. The problem with this show is that there's a lot of them, and I'm not really watching a sports show to listen to people drone on and on about their problems for 20 episodes. So like, I know that that's really important to have all the characters have their motivations and to flesh them out as people in the show. But like other sports shows that I've seen, there's like one or two main characters that are getting the attention because they are the focal point of the show. And in this one, there's so many characters that like I felt like they didn't really get around to actually participating in like the sport of running until the very end of it. And so for me, I was kept waiting and waiting for like them to actually do some actual sports. So like I get that like pacing isn't necessarily just, sports or whatever, but as a person who watches sports anime and wanted to see this, like for me the show really took off for me once the race at the end actually began. And then you could kind of see how they're all sort of fighting really hard together to finish. The one kid has flu or whatever and he still runs it. Prince is like, he dies. He literally dies every time he runs. And he hates it.
I love Prince.
He hates it, but he does it because he wants to like support his friends, and you can't have even one weak link when they got to have 10 people and there's only 10 of them. And so, like the show really took off for me at the end, but I don't feel like I loved all of it. Like there were sections in the middle where I'm like, all right, for the love of God, like, can we please have like an event? Like this, please, let's do something. But like overall, I think like as I look back on it, the show it's hard to criticize. Actually, it's kind of weird. Like it's almost so. I don't want to call it flawless because I don't think that's quite the right word, but it's so close to flawless that I don't even know what to really criticize it about. There's like just not a lot. I think
it's just your preferences speaking, right?
Yeah, exactly. This show is 75% drama, human drama, and 25% sports. And so like, there's enough of that in there, the whole show is about running, but it's framed from the lens of looking at people's like personal lives.
Right. I totally. Feel like. It is about a group of people that are running. It's not about running.
Yeah. I also think like the overall theme of the series is how hard work can overcome natural talent. And like if
that's
you
definitely a thing.
Don't have natural talent in like say like a hobby, sport, or some other activity, if you work hard enough, you can still develop the ability to stand side by side with individuals who do have that natural talent.
Yeah.
So especially with Prince, you see that a lot with Prince, and I found him very inspirational. He'd worked so hard, and he had no ability to run whatsoever, but he got a treadmill and was running while reading his manga, making goals for himself. He was fantastic.
He's hilarious. He's hilarious. He's like, it's like his like arms are flailing around like he's just like
a monster.
He looks like a monster trying to run. It was hilarious every time.
I love it. Yeah.
I think the theme. I think the theme for the show was friendship, and I think it's the friendship that got them to the finish line at the end. So
yeah. For sure. I like that you said that it's hard to criticize this story because I obviously am looking for flaws too, right? And like because when I put my critical lens on, I'm like trying to see like what the flaws are. And I'm with you. It's hard to criticize it because they took a tried and true formula. Like I said, like there's nothing about this show that's like extra spicy or like a twist, right? Like it's quite straightforward. Group of people practice really hard to win. Right, to like win a thing.
Yeah.
It's just that they executed. Like if there were 20 boxes to check, I think they checked like 19 of them. Right.
Yeah.
Like they just checked. Like they just checked them. Like yep, did it, and it sounds good, and it looks good, and it is like timed really well. So like it's like I also don't want to say it's perfect because even for as much as I love the pacing because I applaud them for fitting so much character arc into 20 whatever episodes, there were moments where I was like, okay, like we are dragging for like 5 minutes right now for no reason. But it was to me it was not as much as maybe you felt it, Mitz. But I could look past it. But that's like the one box they didn't check, right? So like super tight storytelling, like flawless storytelling they didn't check, but they checked everything else before that. So it's hard. It is hard story wise. It's hard to be like, yeah, this story is not well done.
Your hair doesn't fly backwards like that while you run. Just so you know.
That's the 20th.
But it was funny looking.
Yeah, I mean your hair is so soaked with sweat and it just doesn't fly back like that. But I don't know why they did that. Exactly. I don't know why that.
It's for aesthetics, boy. It's for aesthetics for the boys, you know.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but they weren't even like, but the boys in this aren't even that like smexy or whatever.
Which I actually think is cool. That the boys aren't like hot. They're just like fucking nerds.
Yeah, I really like that it wasn't the typical high school setting. They're all college age students.
Yes.
And like when they're all hanging out together, I really liked how they modeled the room, because it looks very much like a college room, like a bunch of college boys hanging out. There's like alcohol and snacks everywhere, and
and I also like that in those settings, it was never like, yes, Haiji is like the boss, but
he's like the team mom.
He's like the mom, right? So because he's like, yes, he's like a major focus of the show, and he's like the mom, but it was cool how they never overshadowed people in the room. Like it felt like they were all there present, and at any moment any of them could be the ones to like say the important thing, right? Like I really enjoyed that in those settings. And I always say this to people that ask me like what they should watch if they have no real preferences. Anime with people past high school is the best anime. I firmly believe that, because we don't deal with like just kids not knowing how to deal with emotion. Like these people in the show, they are dealing with self-improving, but like they are past the whole like emo shit. So it's like it's always just good to see storytelling they can skip all that and get to like these like specific goals to meet. But yeah, I think story-wise we all liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. Like I said, I think it really matured for me at the end. And Haiji and Kakeru have an epic bromance.
I think so too.
Do you have a girlfriend, Kakeru? What characters did you guys love?
Oh, Musa, dude. Fuck yes. I love Musa.
Oh, Musa is so great.
Musa is so great.
He's the glue that holds them all together.
I think so too, man. I think he's just so loving. I think he's definitely glue, but I think also one of my favorite characters was the guy that got the flu. What's his name? Takashi?
Takashi, he's also called Shindo.
Shindo. Yeah, Shindo to me is the unsung hero of the show, because he thinks about this group, and he thinks about all the stuff that they're not thinking about. He's thinking about generating community support, buying these jerseys, like making us look like a team, making sure like we sound like a team, making sure that we look like an official thing. All these things people didn't think about except for him. And as someone who was part of teams in the past, like when you put on a jersey and it's the same, like you feel like part of a unit, when you have community behind you, when you have people supporting you on the internet, like all of that plays into motivation fuel when people are practicing. So I think like that, all those little things he did, I noticed them. I was like, dude, I'm noticing you. Like, I'm noticing you, Shindo. Like, good job. Like, all this stuff is super important. I really love Shindo in the show. And also, he fucking ran in with the flu, bitch.
Yeah, that was
great. Let's go.
Yeah, I think he started running because he really wanted to impress his parents. Was that what it was?
I think so,
yeah. Man, I can't imagine how upset he was when he woke up with the flu on the day of his big race.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm gonna run it anyways.
Yeah. I felt so bad.
I did love Prince, obviously, for obvious reasons. And I also like a lot of his manga like memes. Like he did like a JoJo reference, but I think my favorite character is probably Yuki.
Yuki's cool as heck.
I loved Yuki so much because throughout the show, you get tiny little hints here and there that he doesn't have a good relationship with his parents. And then like towards the end, towards the final race, we hear like he didn't get along with his stepdad and he left the family and hasn't spoken to them for such a long time. But at that relay race, when you hear his mom cheer for him and he looks over, because he had no idea they were there, and she cheers for him, I wanted to cry so bad because it was such a great moment where automatically we understand everything that his family has been following, like still supports him. That tiny little I'm sorry moment that he said, we know that he like forgives, like he is regrets leaving his family and he wants to create like a stronger bond with them. It was such a great moment, and he goes like from panting to crying. I was like, "Oh, Yuki!"
Yeah. I also think he's cool because if Haiji is like the mom of the group, I think Yuki is like the father kind of, because there's several times in the show where he is like observant of like the room, and he like notices little things with everybody. He's always there supporting people in his own way.
Yeah.
I think he's really cool. Like he's so cool. Like I wish I relate to him in that way, because I think in my friend group I'm like the same way, where like I'm very observant of everyone in the room, how everyone's feeling, and I try and like keep everyone up. But yeah, he's awesome.
I think Haiji was my favorite, probably.
Haiji's standard great,
yeah,
dude.
yeah, he's just he was just he was, when you asked me what is running, it is you. I was like epic bromance at the end of the show. Yeah. Yeah, Haiji's. Yeah, I thought it was nice that they let Haiji finish the race. Like, he was the anchor or whatever. Because it's his team. This is his dream. So the show is, he's not the best. He's not the fastest runner. But he's like the heartbeat of the team. And he cooks. He does all the cooking. He's like he's the therapist. He's the motivator. I mean, good Lord. Like, he was the coach. The old man coach didn't do shit.
Yeah, I like that he went from pushing them way too hard. And who was it? I think was it Kakaru, or somebody called him out and was like, you're pushing everyone far too hard. And he took a step back and realized these are people and they're all in this dream with me, and I need to slow down a little bit.
Yeah. I feel like that was Yuki, man. I feel like Yuki would have said
Was
that.
it Yuki? It may have been Yuki.
I feel like it was him, dude. Yeah.
Yuki was fire, man. He was not afraid to say it.
That's what I'm saying, but that's why I like him. He was like,
I love
here's
Yuki.
my fucking feelings, bitch. And right here, deal with them. Like,
he's like, you need to stop smoking, asshole. I loved him. I think the only character I wasn't really sold on was King, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think he was probably, of all the ones, he was the blandest.
Yeah.
Just
like, he was
story,
so adamant about going job hunting and just getting a solid job, and then I guess he realized that he just reestablished his dedication to the team after something Shindo said to him. And I don't know, I feel like he was the one that we got maybe the least growth from. The twins went through an interesting way where they were like, I want to impress girls. No, actually, I really want to run this race for me. And then they started to turn like into cockadoos, little mini cockadoos. Yeah. They're like, we can't do this. Are you crazy? But I feel like they also kept the team very grounded in a way towards the end. They're like, we need to have more realistic expectations out of this.
Yeah, I think, they're the ones that started they're the ones that I think after they qualified, they like saw times and they were like, yo, wait, like, we're never gonna reach this, like, we're just people. And then they're the ones that start they like defect, right, for like a second, because they're just like, yo, we're never, like, this is a waste of time, like, we're never gonna do this. So like they do introduce very realistic thoughts, but I think they were also the tried and true trope of comic relief. Like, those dudes made me laugh. They made me laugh so much, like, so much.
With their little romance with the girl.
Yes, them both liking this girl, and like there was the one scene where they like picture themselves running in a field.
She said she loves me.
She said she loves me. She loves me.
She definitely did not.
No, she definitely did not say that. But yeah, no, they did their job. Like, in terms of story mechanic, like, they did their job super well. Like, they made me happy, like, super happy. So I love them too.
You guys want to read the comments we have here from people from social?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Before we give our scores, I kind of want to go through the social.
Well, I just don't think we didn't talk about Kakaru.
Yeah, he was like the main character of the show as well. So he got the most growth.
He got the most screen time. I will say that the reason that Kakaru works is because everyone else was such strong characters. Because usually I don't think I would like a character like Kakaru. He's the type of boy that pisses me off a lot.
He turned into a great character though towards the end.
He did. And I think it's cool that he, like, once he like let himself trust the team, he went full beast mode and making himself the best fucking runner he could possibly make himself.
Yeah,
that's the coolest thing.
I love that he went from I'm gonna run ahead because y'all are holding me back.
Right.
And then realized, maybe if I worked with them, we could reach this goal, and maybe we are kind of, friends. And so we started walking with Prince, and it was
That was
so
huge.
yeah, he turned into a great character towards the end, especially when they all came to his defense. When he went into his past with the coach that, which by the way, the coach in Kakeru's past, he was abusing a kid where he was forcing him to run. He ended up hurting himself, and Kakeru just straight up punched him.
Yeah.
And Kakeru felt so bad for that. Like, it was like a dark history. I'm like, nah, man, you did the right thing.
He did the right thing. He did the right thing for sure. But that's just, I think that in America, I think a kid wouldn't be traumatized for that. But I think in Japan, like, that is a big, like, no. Like, you are outcasted for that.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy that we're talking the least about Kakeru, but I think that is the point. Like, kind of like Kakeru is our gateway into this group of people, and we see him grow as he's learning about these characters the same way we are, right? So like we're just like with him the whole time, but he's just our lens, I think. But like you're saying, I think he does turn out to be a great character. He grows a heart, like his humanity comes out a lot in this show, and it was nice to watch for sure.
Yeah. I only have one question.
What's up?
Hashiru no koto ga suki ka?
Hashi no koto ga.
So the very first thing they say in the whole show and at the end.
Do you like to run?
Do you like to run?
Do you love running?
Yeah.
So.
I will say though, there was some really awkward CG crowds. That's the only like really negative thing I have. They were really jarring.
I had that, and for the art animation portion of this, I also thought everything was fucking dope, except for the parts where you can obviously tell they used CG and they didn't give a shit about the CG. But in this case, everything else that wasn't CG was so good that I also was like, okay, this passes for me.
All right.
So Raphael,
you want me to go ahead and do it?
Raphael Clinch wrote from social media, was a surprisingly great show. Didn't expect this anime to have such compelling stories. Each character was enjoyable, and they told a great story of personal struggles and personal growth as individuals and as a team.
Yeah. We had one from Jennifer Velour that says, it was a pretty good sports show that wasn't really about winning. It was about being the best you can be in the journey to get there. TBH, there were some unlikely things in there, and that's why I said a 4, but overall I found it a refreshing watch.
Simple Gen 03 writes, absolutely love it. I've watched it twice now, and I think I like it even more on the second watch. I found it very motivational and inspirational.
Savage and Naji wrote, best running sports anime ever. I think it's like probably one of the only sports anime.
Is it the only one ever?
Yeah. It's always nice to get away from the typical sports high school setting. While it was a little hard to believe the goal they set, it was easy to forget because all the characters were believable. When all the scores were compiled, Social gave it a 4.5. What do you guys give it?
Okay. I can go first. So I am also starting to grade less objectively recently because I've been leaning into the Mitsugi philosophy of like how much did I enjoy this, and the big catalyst for this is Domestic Girlfriend. I was like, you know what, like I just like that show, man. Like I really did. Like whatever. I'm proud of that. But so I guess I'll just say like I mentioned already, but I super enjoyed this show front to back. From episode 1, because my favorite parts in anime that are character driven are when characters meet each other, and that part was so organically nice in this anime. So I was in from the beginning, and then watching them just grow is, my favorite thing ever. I love world building. I love character development. That's the two hills I like stake my flag on for sure. Art is amazing. I didn't like the OP that much personally, but none of that matters because everything else is so good. I love this story. I loved this team. I loved these characters so much, and hats off to the writers for, even though not every character got super amounts of screen time, they still found ways to give us little interactions where you got to complete their arc, where they let you have enough clues or just like straight up moments where like, oh wow, that's great to watch, for each of these characters. So I'm gonna give this a 4.5 out of 5 because it was so great. 4.5 laps around the track field out of 5 because I would quit halfway through the 5th lap. And the only reason the 0.5 is because, again, like this kind of progress just is not like, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, oh, there's fucking way these people ran this shit in such a short amount of time of practice, but I just loved it so much that I can't take more than half a point, like at all. So yeah,
for me, it's like if I graded on how much I enjoyed it, I'd probably give it a 4 because there were spots where I was bored towards in the beginning because I just was tired of hearing about people. It was like I had enough character development. I wanted to get down to the nitty gritty. But I recognized the show really pulled it together in the end, and seeing the culmination of all the hard work was nice. So I am also going to shockingly give it a 4.5 inevitable knee replacements out of 5.
Oh, poor IG.
Because IG, he's gonna need some help.
He's not gonna be running for much.
He should not have been running in the beginning.
No, he should not have been running. Period, dude.
Did you hear his knee? It sounded like a squeaky like a squeaky. Yeah. Like a squeaky wooden, like a squeaky metal tool. It was
not good.
Like a rusty squeeze box.
Also, speaking of, I want to just throw this into my final because it just sparked my memory. That moment where Shindo is running and he's out of breath when he has the flu, and all the like the way they animated it gave me so much anxiety watching it.
Dude, it was terrible.
And I think that was the point. It really, I don't know, it illustrated like a panic attack. It's like, or not like panic attack, but like just so much anxiety.
Yeah.
He did a really good job with it.
I would say that was like he was having like an anxiety attack for sure.
Yeah, it was. Whew, they did a really good job with that. But yeah, same. I loved the series. Yeah, it's not perfect. There are some flaws. Maybe possibly the author wasn't really, doesn't really know as much about like the progression of professional running. Maybe she doesn't know about times. I don't know. I'm just, but it's the only thing I could think of. And the CG crowd scenes were jarring. Yeah. Other than that, I love these boys so much, and I always had so much fun watching them. And so I'm gonna give it 4.5 mangas out of 5.
Nice.
Right.
Prince mangas.
We love this shit, fam. Let's go.
We are in line with social media.
Wow.
And now
I'm happy about that.
And now let's do some mailbags.
Let's go.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag. All right. Who wants to?
Do you want to drop the?
This one's all you.
You want to drop the spoiler thingy, Mitz?
I dropped it. So you're talking to Vegeta. If you want to leave us a mailbag, you can go to our website, AAAPodcast.com. Along the top, there's a mailbag button. You can submit mailbags, topic requests. You can submit Shark Tank submissions. You can submit things to Enzo Senpai's Notice Me Corner. All that stuff's in the same place, so don't let it go to waste. This first mailbag is totally just trolling. Yotaru Vegeta has been on too many porn sites lately, and but I'm going to entertain this mailbag. RIP Notre Dame Cathedral. I need help. I don't even know where that came from. It's totally unrelated to the rest of the question. I need help. I'm not a religious man at all, but I think I need help from a man of the cloth. As an anime fan, I tend to watch anime-related content on YouTube, so the ads are targeted towards anime games. They would recommend stuff like Azure Lane, and I ignored it. Now I think this is the last straw. I have been recommended Moe Ninja Girls, and I fear that this is the worst. I present to you their website. If you go to the website, it's basically a porn game. So I
Do I
think,
want to go to the website?
I mean, it's not like virus ridden. It's a pretty good looking website actually, but it's definitely looks like a hentai game sort of. I need help from the Pope of the Church of Mitsugi to tell me how to cleanse myself of this. I feel so unclean. Well, I don't really feel like. I feel like you have cast yourself into this dark place.
You deserve what you.
You're totally Vegeta. However, I will give you a small sermon on this subject because I know you've been listening to this podcast for a long time, and your soul does also deserve retribution.
Wow, let him know.
And perhaps salvation. So yes, you're totally Vegeta. You have to fallen into the black despair of Moe. For the very evidence is laid before us. Your computer, Google the universe, the only god that would be able to tell you how many porn sites you have visited.
Oh boy.
Is bringing to you ninja Moe girls. And so with the very click of your mouse, you cast yourself into the black hell of the anime pit of hell, and you do not want to go to such a place. So close your web browser. Do not click, for the clicking is the symbol of your demise, your ultimate doom, the defeat of your soul, nay, your very existence.
Oh no.
Close thy web browser and be cleansed from the Moe. For should you have already visited Ninja Girl's website, you are already lost to us all.
No saving you.
Amen.
Damn,
Amen.
Holy shit. All right, well.
Not my best sermon, but
No, listen, hey man.
I'm hungry.
You cured a soul though. You cured a soul.
I think his soul's already lost. I think he went to the website. I mean, it's
he was a long-time listener, huh?
yeah, and now he's in
We
the
lost
pit
a good one.
Now he's in the pit of hell.
We
All right.
lost a faithful one.
All right.
The next one is from The Creepster. And he or she writes, are there anime that you guys like far better dubbed than its original and vice versa? Like the original voice is far better than the dub. Me,
Oh, definitely.
for like the English that I like far more than the Japanese is Karate High School.
Yes,
voice
Mandy.
Nailed that comedy. And
Yeah.
I didn't find the Japanese one nearly as funny.
You go ahead, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. If you also Samurai Champloo in Japanese, but that's because, or I'm sorry, Samurai Champloo in English I prefer because that was my first experience with it. So now I just associate those voices with the characters, and it's weird when I watch in Japanese.
Yeah.
If we flip it around, I don't know. I watch most of my anime in Japanese just because that's how I can find it easier. But I can't listen to Noragami in English because anyone other than Kamiya playing Yato, I just can't do. It has to be Kamiya.
Yeah, Kami is one of those voice actors from Japan, one of those seiyus that you can't like mimic his like his artisticality, you know?
Yeah.
My answer for this, I see Mitz has it also a bit. Cowboy Bebop to me in English is just like vastly superior to the sub. I also just like love Steve Bloom's voice, so maybe that's the reason why. But my other answer is also Beck, and that's just logistically because in the Japanese version, there's a lot of English because a lot of the characters are American, and also like. Yeah, a lot of characters are from America or from like other places in the world that don't speak Japanese. So in the and also Koyuki sings even in the Japanese version, he sings in English, but the English is like, unfortunately, and it sucks to say, but like the English singing is just pretty bad.
Yep.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So when I watched the sub, two things: the singing is way better, like just monumentally better because they're singing in their native language in English. And then also Koyuki's voiced by Greg Ayers, and I love that dude's voice. Like he makes sad boys sound so sad, and it's great. So I think Beck and Bebop are like exponentially better in their dubs.
For me, it's just all the stuff that was on Toonami. So it's Trigun, Outlaw Star, Lupin, Cowboy Bebop, and it's just because I'm nostalgic about it, watching it on TV. And like Steve Bloom, listen, I don't wear panties, but I'll put panties on so he can talk me out of them. Okay, I just say that much.
That's what I mean.
Maybe that's why I love Samurai Champloo in English too, because Mugen is great.
Dude, Steve Bloom's voice is like the shit.
It really is.
Once he voices someone, I'm just like, yep, that's it. Like no one else can do that. Nope.
Yep. I wonder what Steve Bloom's been up to lately. Yeah, I think he's doing video games.
He's playing D&D with the friends of he's like in the Critical Role universe too. So he plays D&D. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mandy.
Alrighty, so that's all we got for you today, but you can find us at aapodcast.com/join, and you can get all the bonus episodes, hentai episodes, hobby addicts, after parties.
We're going to be getting dirty in a minute.
More. We're up next. We have a hentai episode, and we will be talking about the hentai that we chose from May 2019 and reviewing them and then picking the next ones for June. You can also go to our Facebook account, facebook.com/groups/AAPodcast. You can please leave us a review on iTunes so we can be number one in everything.
Rate us everywhere. Anywhere you can rate us, everywhere. Rate us.
We're already number one on iTunes and by a couple miles actually. So we could use the same treatment elsewhere. I would say. I haven't really checked how far along we are in other places, but sorry we were so late today, guys. I just built this little studio in Denver, and there are definitely some technical issues that need to be worked out. But I'm glad we're here. Glad we did it.
Yep. This is our first interstate where everyone's in a unique state.
And we'll be moving to Twitch soon.
Hopefully.
All right.
You'll get to see me and Enzo's faces.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. All right, we'll see you guys. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Peace out.